Murders at Karlov Manor is failing to attract attention. It's failing to get traction as a product, and its low sales volumes mean that there is not going to be a restock for this product. And that doesn't mean it has to come from distribution, but chances are your LGS is not going to order more. Somebody is getting murdered right now, but it's not the players and it's not Wizards of the Coast. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here. Thanks again for hanging out with me on the channel today for another video. And a reminder, if you enjoyed today's content, don't forget, guys, hit the like and subscribe button. Turn on your notification bells. The Moxman is here every single day of the week with new content. So, Murders at Karlov Manor. You guys probably realized right now after the pre-release, which most stores didn't sell out, that the sales are kind of sluggish, kind of low. Not the singles, but the actual box openings and stuff have been lower than most people anticipated. The singles aren't really moving other than a few cards players are trying out, and that means that there's less chance of more product getting opened. That's the easiest way to put this to you guys, because it's not that Wizards of the Coast didn't make money. They got paid already. Distribution took the product, they've sold it to the stores, but now you've got stores who have opened product and are not moving as many key singles as they need to. The failure to attract attention for this product means the sales are slowing down way quicker than anyone anticipated, and low sales volumes has players believing there'll be product dumps and prices are going to keep sinking. But that also has another adverse side effect. And that's the fact that the ones who are taking the risk was your local LGS. They're the ones who've got to bankroll this and have product rolling into the store. So not only does Wizards get paid, but players aren't going to get as much product as they were hoping to get. They're going to get less, because the stores are not going to continue to take risk on throwing good money at a losing product. Instead, they're just not going to order more. I know of a dozen stores that I deal with who already emailed me saying, I only ordered 2 or 3 collector boxes. They came in, they got sold out, and now I'm done. I'm not ordering more. I have no intention of reordering any collector boxes. And then the question, of course, I ask them is, well, what about play booster boxes? Well, I've still got a little bit in stock right now, but I've got to start taking all the profits I'm making from any singles I happen to have sold, as well as any pre-release products, which would make a couple of bucks per head on pre-release night, minus any of your staffing costs. And they're moving that product forward into things like Modern Horizons, or of course, not to mention we still have Fallout coming up. This is a real dilemma for a lot of players, a lot of stores, but not for Wizards of the Coast, oddly enough, right? Wizards just gets to sit pretty and watch everything unfold before them. It does have effects on Wizards of the Coast way down the train line there, way down there where you can't see it and they can't see it yet, but we know it's coming. There's an end to the station. There is a stopping point. But right now, when you look at your LGS, taking the risks of doing box openings for you and adding singles into their portfolio at the store for you to buy, if they don't sell and they sit there and you only get a few cards that spike up and sell, that's a real conundrum for stores to have to deal with. It means chances are prices will go up even on moderately okay cards, and not because they're worth it, just because of the risk that stores are going to have to take to open this product. And if it doesn't do well this time, do you think they're going to bankroll bigger box openings later? Very unlikely. This kind of like rolling, tumbling effect that carries on like a snowball, getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it hits something hard, is where we're headed. I couldn't believe how many stores told me that they sold out of a product. They sold out of a particular single. Let's say Anzarag, the Mole God. No, he didn't sell out, but I'm going to use him as the example. He gets sold out. Actually, that cloak, the coat. The coat sold out a whole bunch, okay? They sold it really low on pre-sale, and these stores honored their pre-sale prices, so like $2 a card or something. They sold their cards out, and now they have a wish list of people who want them, but of course they basically have just saying, I'm not telling people this, but unless I get trade-in cards or something, I'm not opening more product. I'm not spending hundreds of dollars to get 1 or 2 of those cards in just so players can buy it. And that leads to the supply and demand issue. Maybe not for this product, but this is a setup. This is a setup. It almost feels like Wizards knew this was going to happen, because if we're opening less of this product and Wizards doesn't reprint it and everything goes out, sure, the product may go up down the line, but it also means that the single prices on the next set will be geared a little bit higher just because of the risk involved. If a store is taking the risk, they're going to price a little bit higher, or whatever metric system they're using, which I think is owned by TCG Player and eBay and stuff, or those kind of pricing programs. I think we're in for a bit of an issue going forward. It hasn't really all metabolized in my brain or in my stomach on how I feel about it, but at the same time, I know something's not going to go well later on. The fact that stores say, oh, I'm not ordering anything else. And I've heard that before, of course, but usually it's after a month or two, not a day or two. Not at release date saying, oh, I'm done. I'm not ordering more. I hope people understand what we're walking into. It feels like a trap door with no way out, but there are things that are going to happen because the question, of course, gets asked. Well, what happens if prices start to go up, Moxman? What happens if these cards are $40, $50, $100 a card because nobody's opening it? Well, then that leads to the other side of that coin, where it's not going to be just your LGS shouldering the burden of opening boxes. When you get to super high price points, when the market gets too skewed one way, in which a single card becomes a $10, $15, $20 card because it's kind of hard to get, that just means players will open boxes. Somebody out there is going to take the risk because the cards are worth so much. I know some people right now who are still opening Jumpstart booster boxes at what, $60-something a pop, because 1 in 2, 1 in 3, sometimes 1 in 1. It depends on where you're buying and how many are going to have a Shieldred, and the Shieldred, the Apocalypse you can sell that pays for more than the box on its own. This is where it leads us, right? There can be those situations where arbitrage happens and it flips around, but that's only for a moment, and it'll only happen until it balances itself out, and then people step away again. So not everyone is going to be able to, become rich off of something like that or make a real play to get a lot of cards in really quickly. Very few people will be able to reap the reward of that before the market turns back. So keep that in mind. But that is a flip side. It's another point of view on how the market reacts when things aren't going your way. But right now, this is where we're at, and it's a fact. It's not like it's pretend. It's out there. The stores are not opening as much. This product's not selling well. See my hand coming toward the screen? It's being pushed away. They're saying, Murders at Karlov Manor? No thank you. Nothing. That's where it stops. That little pause I gave you lets you know that it's done. The money is going to move on so fast from this product that we're going to be going into Fallout before you know it, and then jumping on to the Junction. The Outlaws at Thunder Junction will be the next big one, depending on how those spoilers come out. Wizards could be in for it. Distribution is definitely going to be feeling this one if they have too much sitting on the store shelves at their particular distribution level. And then, of course, we've got your local LGS. The bigger stores, the guys like 401 and Face to Face, they're probably going to have quite a bit of products sitting there. I'm not saying they're going to fire sell it. I have no idea. They haven't told me. But it would make sense that those products would go on sale a lot sooner than they anticipated. And that's because they can't move it. They're not going to sit on sale product and absorb the loss. They're going to kind of burn it out slowly on some kind of deal or sale, some end of the month special, maybe just a few bucks off, but something to get a few boxes rolling out, because all those stores, big or small, have got to flip money into the next product. The smaller stores are hurt the most, but the bigger stores can't go on forever absorbing costs. They made it big here for a long time because of a certain business model. They're not willing to jeopardize their entire business to make Wizards of the Coast money. They will scale back. They will cut down. They will cutthroat everything to make sure their business survives to the best of their ability. That's their job. So if you guys out there think that your local LGS is going to keep shouldering the burden, it's definitely not going to happen. It's not going to go that way. No restocks for you. Even if Wizards wants it to, it's not going to happen unless prices get really good for some reason or Wizards does something, because the stores right now are taking all the risk and they're basically, saying that enough's enough. We're not going this way anymore. We're done. Move on, Wizards. Find another guppy to take your product. We're not going that way. And they feel the same way about Fab. They feel the same way about Lorcana. They're not going to take it anymore. They're going to make sure they do the best they can for their customer base, but that doesn't mean they're going to take the losses. Understand the LGS's point of view. Just like we as players don't dive in and buy boxes anymore, they're not going to either. Not at the level the players need to satisfy the desire for the cards. Supply and demand, there's nothing you can do about it but watch and decide for yourself which is the best move. Guys, it's going to be a wacky way to see how Magic's going to go. It's going to be a weird type of skewed battleground of everyone playing off against each other. And yes, some people will get rich. A lot of people are going to get poor. And a lot of us are going to sit and watch and say, doesn't reserve list look really good right about now? I'm just teasing, guys. I'm just teasing. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Thanks for being here on the channel today and stopping by, hanging out with the Moxman. Drop some comments in the comment section. Is your LGS carrying a lot of this product? Are they going to buy more, or are they going to scale back? Have you even had this discussion with them? Because I know the pre-orders were so low that stores were already concerned, and now they're not touching it with a 10-foot pole. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Don't worry. There's always a new video every single day, and always bring a friend to Magic. And of course, a big shout out and a thank you to the fantastic patrons we have supporting the channel here each and every day. Thanks again to all these patrons. Daily uploaded content's made possible. From my patrons to my YouTube membership members, a big shout out and thank you from MTG Moxman and of course Mini Mox. Okay, guys, welcome back to the Ramble Jamble. We're on zero coffee. I hate to say this. It's like a black pit. There's no caffeine in there. There's nothing, but we're gonna make it through. Don't worry. So I stopped in to one LGS in particular, and I was talking with the owner, and the idea that they're not going to reorder, and the fact they already ordered really low in comparison, I was kind of surprised. And I asked them, like, how are the overall sales? They go, look, other cards are selling. Lord of the Rings is still selling fairly well and still fairly regularly. So they've reordered a box or two of that. I said, really, you should go buy the case. He goes, look, people buy 1 or 2 packs at a time now. They don't come in and buy 20 packs. They don't come in and buy a whole box. There's no point to carry that much product if I can't move it. I'm not going to have it sitting on my shelf collecting dust. And I took on all the costs. This is the story told over and over again. I've heard it before, but I'm hearing it more often from how the store's perspective is about how they can sell and move singles, sure, but how many they can move versus how many they get in the box. So if there's 5 or 6 cards that are really sought after, they're $5 each, $7 each, $10 each. That's not enough to buy boxes of play boosters. That's not enough profit margin for the store to carry the cost of opening that much product. And that's where I think things go fast. Yeah, you can sell commons for $1. There's all kinds of little things you'll do to make up some of that profit depending on how your market is in your local area. But the idea that they are kind of saying, nah, I'm only opening what I'm going to open, what I think I can move, and then that's it. I move on. I say you're not going to restock it later. It goes, even if it's popular, I'm only going to buy 1 box at a time because I'm not taking the cost. I'm going to add that box to like a bigger order from the distributor, so it could take a week or 2 to get here. If players want to go to a bigger market, like a Toronto, and order and have it shipped in and stuff, he goes, that's where they're going to have to go, because you can't expect all of us smaller LGSs to sit on this stuff in case one player wants to get 1 or 2 cards. It's crazy to think, but it makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense that you're not going to open a $200 plus box plus taxes to get a $10 card you have to ship out and deliver to somebody. You got to put it in the perspective of the person taking all the risk, and in this case, it's the store. Stores aren't going to do it. It's crazy, but I get it, and I didn't think it would be this severe, not this fast, especially with Mirza Karlov Manor having some okay cards in there, but it's just not playing out the way that I think a lot of people thought, including myself. It's more extreme than I thought. So I'll let you guys know when I get more information, but at this point, I'm kind of like, that's crazy. Crazy to hear that from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It just keeps going. And then I kind of stop putting out the emails and stuff. I go, okay, I get the gist of it. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. Let me know what you think, okay? You made it this far in the video. You know it. Yeah. It's the one in the car we want. Yeah, let's see you play with that one in the comments section.